Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap a seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears, we back. You know what I'm saying? We got Verkeezy and Nicole in the building. Make sure y'all go like and subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel, No More Black Tears, and we in here, man. All happening in the week.
So this week in sports, we're gonna start with the NBA Finals, man. So the New York Knicks are on the verge of their first championship in like 40 years. You know, actually more than 40 years, like almost 50 years actually. They got a 3-1 lead on the Spurs, and Game 5 is tonight. What's your thoughts, Rose?
I'm excited. I'm like, I kind of want to see them winning in New York, but they need to go ahead and just get them out of there if they go win it. Don't play around. Just go ahead and go if they can get tonight. If they can get the win tonight, go ahead and get it, because you don't want to play around with them. But all the games, man, have been amazing. The Spurs have been jumping on them early, and the Knicks have been jumping on them in the second half and coming back. I was watching the game on Wednesday, and I'm like, doggone, they ain't doing nothing. I said, well, if they get it down to probably about 15, 17, something like that, they got a chance. And then getting in the fourth quarter, and then they kept pushing the lead. But they came all the way back, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I was just shocked. I was just shocked. Though. I was just in shock that game 4, because I was like, dog, you can't let them boys come in the Garden and beat y'all twice. I was like, that means they got home court advantage again. Like, so it was just amazing to watch. OG been playing good. Doggone Jalen he's been playing good. You know what I'm saying? He almost averaging 30. You know what I'm saying? So, and Wemby I feel like the refs have been giving him a lot of slack because he should have got some more technical fouls, and they called him because I know he's the biggest star, so they give him a lot of grace with the calls and things like that. But it's good to see him though. It's good to see him. He's balling. Castle balling. That boy Harper is unbelievably balling. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna see what's going on tonight.
I don't know if I've seen the finals like this before, man. Where every game is so close. Like this could have easily been 3-1 Spurs, to be honest. Like, even now, me and TTK was talking. Man, I feel like if the Spurs can win tonight, they can still win the series. I think they can still win the series. Like this is gonna sound crazy because the Knicks is up 3-1. I don't feel like I watch any game, like except for maybe game 1, and I was like, damn, the Knicks is just a better team. Like, outside of game 1, I'm looking at the series like, man, the Spurs have really been a better team. It's just that goddamn fourth quarter. It's just every time the fourth quarter come around, the young niggas on the Spurs and then the veterans on the Knicks just show that why they veterans. Like, they're just not making the same mistake the Spurs are making. They're not turning the ball over in crucial situations. They're not missing shots. They're not missing free throws. And then the Knicks are making certain shots and making certain plays. You know, when you go to game 2, that they should have won in San Antonio where, you know, Wemby missed that shot. They should have had the ball with a tied game, you know, with Wemby in his hand, with the ball with Wemby's hand, but he basically threw it away, you know, because him and Castle was on the same page. Then they win game 4, but then game 5 come around. They had the 20-something point lead, but even with the comeback, you had the Spurs miss free throws the last minute and a half. But on top of that, the Spurs get a turnover, and De'Aaron Fox, who's supposed to be the veteran on the team, gets the ball, and instead of just sit on the ball and make them foul him and hit 2 free throws to get a 3-point game, he tries to go up for a layup, get fouled by OG, but they don't call the foul, so it's just a block. And next thing you know, OG on the other end, after Jalen misses the shot, OG comes out of nowhere and basically tips the ball in. Like, man, this has been a really, really close series. And I can see the Knicks winning tonight because every game's been close. And I can see literally the Knicks pulling out a good fourth quarter win. But I can see if the Spurs win tonight, I could easily see them winning game 6 and 7. Because if they win tonight, man, I just can't even imagine the amount of pressure on the Knicks at home to win a championship in game 6. Like, I just feel like that's just so much pressure for that organization and those players. I could see that being the first blowout of the game. I mean, the series. Just because I could just see them not making shots. And if they get it back to San Antonio for game 7, I know that they won game 1 in San Antonio. Man, I just can't see when we losing the game 7 at home. I just can't even see that. So, like this, but this definitely has been a good series. I would be happy for either team who won. For the simple fact of I like players on both teams. I like the fact that the Knicks haven't won in such a long time. But I will say this though, me and TTK was talking. Well, it really feel like a lot of motherfuckers want the Spurs to lose. Like, bro, when I go online or I talk to people in person, it seems like a lot of motherfuckers want the Spurs to lose, Rose. It's like they not ready for Wemby to be the best player in the league.
I think it's just hype. I think it's hype because there's so much anticipation for the Knicks to win it since it's been so long. And I think because if you're like, for me, I'm not one that my attention span is not gonna watch a full game most of the time unless I'm with y'all, you know what I'm saying? But watching the games and seeing the back and forth, there's a level of focus that you see the Knicks have that I don't consistently see on the other side. It's the way they playing. They playing like as if they got something to prove. They're playing like they're hungry. I feel like the last game where we saw some hiccups with them, I think it was more so because of all the distractions, just the non-sports stuff that was happening around with.
You talking about them being down by 20-something?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was just the Spurs showing they the best team in the series.
I think there was a lot of distractions, too.
Nah, they the best team in the series.
You think the Spurs are?
Bro, when you outside of game 1, when you watch every game, the Spurs got the best player. They look like the best team. And if you go to the box score, like first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, the Spurs have looked like the best team in the first 3 quarters. And if the game just stopped if the game just stopped in the third quarter, like this series is probably over in 4 games. But it's just that in that fourth quarter, if you look at this box score in all the 4 quarters, the Knicks normally outscore them by almost 15 to 20 points every time.
So because they can close out in that last quarter, it kind of changes the dynamics a little bit?
Yeah, but that goes to what you're saying about the composure. The Knicks got a lot of players who've been in the league 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. Like Cat been in the league, I think almost 11 years now. Cat been in the league for a long time. Jalen Brunson been in the league for 8 years. Josh Hart been in the league for a long time. Even with the coaching, me and Rose was arguing about Mike Brown being a much better coach than San Antonio coach, but I thought it would be a wash. But to be fair, Mike Brown been in the finals before LeBron. Yeah. Back in the day. And I think it was 04 with 05 with LeBron. And he's been coaching like forever. Like he's probably in his like almost 20th year coach, being a head coach in the NBA. So it's definitely more veteranship experience from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Knicks doing what they do in the fourth quarter, so you got to give them praise for that. But I'm just saying, like, it do seem like there's just a lot of people that want the Spurs to lose.
It gives me the same vibe of 2010 finals. That was Celtics and Lakers. And it was a lot of back and forth. Like, one game, one person win, one game. I mean, they went all the way to game 7.
But even in that series, there was a couple of blowouts. And that's what I'm saying. I can't think of a finals that I've seen. Because even in the most watched finals ever, that Cleveland and Warriors, where the Cleveland came back 3-1, there was blowouts in that series. Yeah. Like, every game has been, the first game was 10 points. And that's one of those games where I think the Spurs went into the fourth quarter with the lead, and the Knicks just took off on the boards in the fourth. And then every other game has been like 1 or 2 points, like losses. Where literally, if you make a free throw here, you make a shot here, the other team could have won. But that's probably my biggest takeaway is the Knicks just showing fourth quarter dominance. They're showing like why young teams don't win championships this early because they make the mistakes. We haven't seen these mistakes from the Spurs all postseason, and it's coming in the finals. But also, it just seems like this just reminds me of when LeBron lost to the Spurs in 04-05. It felt like a moment where LeBron was going to get the torch as being the unanimous best player in the world, and there was a lot of people, even myself included, that wasn't ready for him to overtake Kobe and relished him losing that finals. And it do seem like there's people that, because I've been saying from half All-Star break, Wemby's going to be the best player for the season over. It do seem like there's a lot of people that's like, they just keep picking against the Spurs every round. And now that we're on the verge of the Spurs basically winning the championship, it's people that's finally happy they're finna lose because they ain't ready to say that he's the best player. They don't want to say that Victor's the best player. They still want it to be Jokic or Shea or somebody else. But do you have any other thoughts on the finals?
No, I'm ready to see. I'm ready to rock and roll and see what they gonna do tonight because critical game 5. You know, Knicks are up 3-1. It's still critical. Still game 5.
And where they playing tonight?
They're gonna be in San Antonio. All right, so moving on to the National Football League, we're gonna start off with Pat Mahomes, who just renegotiated his contract, where now it's worth over $500 million. Yeah, Mahomes just the man, dog. Like, shoot. But like the contract's team friendly, of course. The way they did it, it just allows them to reallocate money. And most of the time, this is funny money for most players. But for someone like a quarterback, it's not really funny money, especially for a quarterback his age and as talented as he is. Like, he's going to see the length of this contract. So he's going to get all of this money. And it just shows, like, when you're the best player in the game, bro, the money going to be there for you. So, Mahomes deserved it. He deserved that amount of money, man.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it. He's not the GOAT yet, but he's the boat.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? The best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Best of all time, if you want, because he just does everything. And one day he could be the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But he's the best in the game right now. His team's not always his teams don't always have the best players and everything, but he always seems to end up in the Super Bowl or in the AFC Championship game every year, except for last year when he got hurt. But shout out to him.
And teams didn't want him to make the playoffs last year because they would have been afraid what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. You already know what's going to happen. He's going to go to the ACC Championship game.
Same. Regular season Mahomes and postseason Mahomes is two different niggas. Sticking with Mahomes, man, we're going to move on to the AFC West Division. So from now until basically when the preseason starts, we're going to take a division in the NFL and we're going to break it down from the teams, maybe things that they did this season and things we're looking for from that division. So we're going to start off with the AFC West. So we got the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Raiders. Like, what's some pickups, whether it was draft or free agency, that you're most excited to see what happens? And are you excited to see if this division as competitive as it was last year?
Not really. Only thing I'm ready to see how many games it's going to take before Mendoza plays. If the Broncos will have another good year like they did last year, and is Mahomes going to come back stronger than ever like Adrian Peterson did? So Chargers, I ain't worried about them. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be who they are, and they gonna be good. But those are the three teams that I'm really interested in seeing. Pat Mahomes coming off the injury, how many games before Mendoza plays, and is the Broncos gonna be good again?
I got a person for each team, and I got two for the Chiefs, Mansour and Walker. The Chiefs traded up for Mansour in the draft. Like, he got to immediately be an impact corner. He got to come out and be a top 5 player in his position this season as a rookie. which is possible for corners. That's possible. But like they gave a lot to get him, and they also lost 2 corners in all season. Now they did get what's that boy that was in Tennessee? They let go to Tennessee a couple years ago. They did bring him back at corner, you know. So like that's gonna be important. Kenneth Walker, like, can he have a full season where he's dominant at the running back position? Can he put together a 18-game season like he did in the postseason, this past postseason when he became Super Bowl MVP? If he can do that, then that'll be a huge pickup for the Chiefs. Jalen Waddle for the Broncos. I'm interested to see. We saw Bo Nix take a step last year as an I ain't gonna say elite quarterback, but a very solid NFL quarterback. And that was with a supporting cast that wasn't amazing. Now that you add Jalen Waddle, that we all feel like he's a number 1 receiver, definitely a great number 2 receiver. You add him and pair him with Cortland Sutton, like, does that passing attack take another step next year with a brilliant mind like Sean Payton? And Bo Nix has one of the best deep balls in the game. Jalen Waddle, does he still have the speed to get open deep? You said Mendoza, and I agree with you. Like, when does Mendoza take that job? And how does he look his rookie season? Because I feel like it's safe to say no one expects the Raiders to compete in that division this year. So it's really going to come down to, can Mendoza show us enough this season for the Raiders to have hope that in 3 to 5 years they can compete for a Super Bowl? And then lastly, when I think of the Chargers, there's not a player I can think of, but there's a person. There's Mike McDaniels made the offense better. Because he's been one of the best offensive minds in the National Football League the last couple of years since he was with Miami. But he's never had a quarterback like Justin Herbert. Like, I'm not a big Justin Herbert fan, but I'll be 100 and say right here on the pod, Justin Herbert is a better quarterback and more talented than Tua. So if you give Mike McDaniels a quarterback that can actually throw the ball deep and sling it, and you give Justin Herbert an OC that's going to scheme players open. Because when you watch the Chargers last year, that receiving core could not get open for shit. And I had a couple of other people from the tight end, guard end, to Lion McConkey on my fantasy teams, and I was picking them in prize picks, and them niggas were disappointing like shit last year. You know? But when you get that talented of a quarterback and this brilliant of an OC mind, it is going to be interesting to see, like, can the Chargers be a top 5 offense? Like, if they could be a top 5 offense with the running attack they have, and that's another thing that Mike Daniels doesn't really get credit for, is all his offenses have had great running games. And they got Amari Hampton that they drafted last year, who's really talented, and they got the offensive line coming back. 2 of their best offensive linemen was injured last year. Like, they could potentially have a top 5 rushing attack and a top 5 passing attack, and the Chargers could be really scary. Like, to me, I know the Broncos won the division last year, and I know Mahomes is coming back. But if I had to say a team that I would be like, I could see them winning the division as like a dark horse, it would be the Chargers. Like, I think the Chargers could win that division with some of the moves that they're making. Did you have anything else on the division?
No, but I think I have the winning the division. I'm gonna go Chiefs winning the division. I'm gonna go Chiefs. Just they gonna have to. They gonna have to win it because if the Chargers are good, the Broncos are good, and the Chiefs can't be. If they want to get back to the Super Bowl, they gonna have to win the division. They can't go in as a wild card and make it to the Super Bowl. I don't think so. They gonna have to win the division.
So let me ask you a question before we wrap it up. So with the Raiders, do you have them over or under 6 wins?
Under. I give them 5.
The Broncos, do you have them over or under 11?
Over under 11. I got them probably right at 11, probably. So
I can't push, bro. It's either over or under.
Under.
Under, so the 10?
Yeah.
Chiefs, over under 9.
Over.
Chargers, over under 10.
Under.
Okay, so you got the Chiefs over 9, Chargers over under 10, and the Broncos under 11. So you think it's gonna be come between the Broncos and the Chiefs for the division?
Yeah.
Okay, then I ain't gonna lie. I got pretty much that same thing. I got the Raiders under 6 wins. I got the Chiefs over 9. I got the Broncos easily under 11. I just don't. They just had such a great season last year. I just feel like they're not gonna disappoint. But I do got the Chargers over 10 wins. I think the Chargers might get 12 this season, to be honest. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Braves again, man. They still looking good. Summer's in full effect. Baseball's in full effect. You know what I'm saying? And basketball's almost over. It's gonna be the dark times. We're gonna be basement babies in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to watch on TV. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, man. You was talking about the GOAT. Man, I know it's the summertime. Niggas gonna be thirsty, man. Shout out to Caesar Seeds. You know, he be drinking that coconut water. Tom Brady has came out with new coconut water, and he named it Good Nut.
Yeah, hell no.
You know, and it's not a skit. It's not a lie. No, he literally named it Good Nut. So, you know, for those who love Tom Brady and they love coconut water, if you want to stay hydrated by the GOAT, go and get yourself a bottle of that Good Nut. Shout out to the market.
Gotta.
Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. For sure, MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.